You won't believe what happened when our overzealous HOA president decided to demolish my disabled sister's wheelchair ramp while she was at work. But this entitled neighbor had no idea my sister wasn't just any resident, she was the state governor. This single act of arrogance was about to unravel into the biggest mistake of her HOA career, sparking a national scandal that dragged the entire neighborhood into chaos. Buckle up for a wild ride of drama, betrayal, and justice. The neon orange notice slapped haphazardly on our front door sent my blood boiling. It was the 6th HOA violation notice this month, all targeting my sister Emily's wheelchair ramp. I ripped it off, adding it to the stack of Lisa Carter's official complaints on my counter. Behind me, I heard the soft hum of Emily's electric wheelchair climbing the ramp. "Another love note from our dear neighbor?" she asked, her voice laced with exhaustion but still carrying that signature smirk. The bags under her eyes betrayed the toll her new job took, yet she never complained, not about work, not about the accident that left her in a wheelchair 8 months ago, and not about Lisa's relentless harassment. You'd think running the HOA would keep Lisa busy, but no, she spent her days stalking our house. I watched through the kitchen window as she snapped photos of the ramp, her sleek ponytail and designer yoga outfit doing little to mask the venom in her glare. When we built the ramp, we dotted every I and crossed every T, licensed contractor, city permits, even paint that matched our house trim perfectly. But Lisa stormed over before the concrete set, waving her HOA rulebook like a weapon. Section 9, Clause 5, all exterior changes require board approval. She'd sneered, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. We must protect property values, you understand. What burned me most was how Lisa conveniently scheduled HOA meetings about the ramp when Emily couldn't attend. Not that Emily had time, she was too busy running the state. That's right, my sister is the governor, a fact we kept quiet to preserve some privacy during her recovery. Last week, I caught Lisa measuring the ramp at 5:30 a.m. When I called her out, she claimed it was her duty as HOA president. I started recording everything after that, every notice, every encounter, every smug smile. My gut screamed we'd need the evidence. This morning felt different. As I helped Emily into her car for physical therapy, I spotted Lisa whispering with 2 men in suits by her driveway, pointing at our ramp. One scribbled in a notebook, the other took photos. "This doesn't feel right," I told Emily, my stomach churning. She shook her head, calm as ever. "I won't pull rank to get special treatment. We'll fight this fair and square." But as Lisa handed the men thick envelopes, her triumphant grin told me, fair wasn't in her playbook. I pulled out my phone and started recording. Lisa's voice carried across the yard. "The bulldozer needs to be here by dawn. The board's already signed off." My heart stopped. They wouldn't dare destroy a wheelchair ramp, would they? I was halfway through my coffee when the roar of machinery shook the house. My mug hit the floor as I bolted to the window. There was Lisa in our front yard, red blazer pristine, blonde hair flawless, directing a bulldozer like she was staging a coup. Its metal blade gleamed in the early light. 2 workers in neon vests measured the ramp while Lisa clutched a stack of papers like a trophy. I grabbed my phone, hit record, and stormed outside. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted, my voice cracking. Lisa's fake smile widened as she strutted over, heels sinking into our lawn. "Oh, you're awake!" "I have an emergency HOA order. This structure violates Section 3.17 of our guidelines." She waved a document but yanked it back before I could read it. I steadied myself, channeling Emily's debate tactics. "Lisa, we have city permits. This is legal." Her smile didn't budge. "The city isn't the HOA, sweetheart. As president, I protect our community's standards. This ramp is an eyesore, dragging down property values." The bulldozer's engine growled, and my knees went weak. I pulled up our property maps and permits on my phone. "This is illegal." "You can't demolish private property without a court order." Lisa laughed, a sharp, grating sound. "Notice was sent via certified mail 3 weeks ago. We have the receipt." She flashed a paper with a signature I'd never seen. I dialed Emily, voicemail. Her assistant, her security team, no answer. She was in a closed-door meeting. The workers set up cones, one hesitating, double-checking his clipboard. If you do this, I warn, you'll face our lawyers. This violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. I started live streaming, capturing every detail. Lisa's smile twitched. The HOA is exempt. No HOA is exempt from federal law. I yelled loud enough to wake the street. Lights flicked on in nearby houses. Our neighbor, Mr. Peterson, peeked out, then ducked back inside. Lisa nodded to the bulldozer operator. The machine lurched forward, its blade scraping the ramp with a sickening screech. I froze, filming as concrete crumbled. But then I noticed Mr. Peterson back with his camera, and more neighbors emerging, phones raised. My phone buzzed, a text from Emily's security chief. Stay calm. Keep recording. ETA 3 minutes. I grinned. Lisa was too busy gloating to hear the sirens. Our quiet street turned into a war zone. Black SUVs screeched around the corner, followed by state police cruisers, lights flashing. Neighbors spilled onto their lawns, jaws dropped. Lisa's smug grin melted as Emily's security team stepped out, opening the door of a sleek SUV. Emily rolled out in her governor's blazer, her face a mask of controlled fury. Mrs. Carter, she said, her voice cutting through the chaos. This became a state matter when you violated federal disability laws and destroyed state property without authorization. Lisa stammered. State property? Emily held up her phone. Would you like to see the deed, or shall we start with the ADA? I signed new state protections last month. The crowd grew, phones multiplied. Mrs. Lee from next door was live on Instagram. Lisa clutched her notices. The HOA bylaws. Emily's assistant stepped forward with a binder. Your bylaws? My legal team found violations of state housing laws, discriminatory practices, and irregular financial records for 4 years. The crowd gasped. I zoomed in on Lisa's face, now ghost white. State investigators approached. Mrs. Carter, we need you to come with us regarding today's events and these financial discrepancies. As Lisa was led away, still muttering about standards, Emily addressed the crowd. This isn't just about my ramp. It's about everyone's right to live with dignity. Neighbors nodded, some ashamed, others angry. But as Lisa disappeared into a police car, I wondered, would our neighborhood ever be the same? The next morning, our security footage was everywhere. X, TikTok, national news. Reporters camped outside. My friend, a civil rights lawyer, sent files showing Lisa had been sued 4 times in other HOAs for similar stunts, always settling quietly. Emily, ever the strategist, held a press conference on our lawn, the wrecked ramp as her backdrop. She revealed Lisa broke 19 state housing laws. Neighbors came forward. Mrs. Kim shared how Lisa fined her for a medicinal herb garden. Mr. Peterson exposed fines for his dad's wheelchair lift. The Quiet and Win family admitted Lisa threatened them over their son's sensory swing. Lisa called an HOA meeting to clear her name. Nobody came except her 2 loyalists. Meanwhile, Emily hosted disability rights advocates at our house, and half the neighborhood showed up to learn. Then came the bombshell. Lisa's HOA fines funded her home renovations, mislabeled as community upgrades. Her lawyer quit. 3 board members resigned via leaked emails. Lisa tried serving us a cease and desist, only to walk into Emily's meeting with the state housing commissioner, who was dissecting her every HOA decision. By week's end, neighbors planted support accessible housing signs. Lisa's house stood alone, bare. News choppers captured it all, and our story hit CNN. Digging deeper, we found Lisa never legally became HOA president, she just seized power. A YouTube lawyer, David Tran, flew in, offering to sue Lisa and the HOA pro bono. His video on our case hit 10 million views. At Lisa's final HOA meeting, The room was packed. Neighbors shared stories of her bullying, torn down tree houses, banned holiday lights. Emily unveiled her Home Freedom Act to curb HOA abuse. Cheers erupted. Lisa's lies unraveled when our footage proved she forged bulldozer permits. Her lawyer dropped her. Days later, she fled, her prized azaleas ripped out. The new HOA board turned the violations office into a community hub, sending welcome baskets instead of fines. Emily's ramp was rebuilt, painted with vibrant murals and glowing lights. Kids call it the street's coolest feature. The Bulldozer Company, linked to Lisa's side hustle, now offers free ramps statewide and funds disability law scholarships. I got promoted to lead the state's Homeowner Protection Office, teaching neighborhoods to reform HOAs. Emily says we're just beginning. Our story's in textbooks now, but the real win is Mrs. Peterson's growing gnome army and kids playing freely without fear of fines. Lisa's old house sold to a family with a ramp for their grandma. Neighbors helped them unpack. We didn't just fix an HOA, we changed hearts. What do you think? Was Lisa's power trip just one bad apple, or are HOAs broken? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially if you've got an HOA horror story or a take on how far teasing and power play should go in relationships like this. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going to make sure stories like this get heard.